and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the UK. I was asked by a friend to make a 70th birthday card with nice bright colours for a friend who loves gardening. So my natural instinct was to go straight for the Flowering Rain Boots bundle. You get the stamp set and the dies. You can purchase them separately, but if you buy them together then you save 10%. And we've got lots of lovely gardening images in there, and because it was a birthday, I used a birthday sentiment and I used the playful alphabet dies to put on the 70 there. But we've got our welly boots, as we call them, rain boots, gum boots, whatever you want to call them, and so this type of fold is a bridge fold, and across the bridge we've got some plant pots and our watering can. The other side got lots of flowers tucked away in there as well, and a few jewels. So this is bigger than my normal size cards because I wanted to put lots on it, lots of colour, and so the finished card fits in an envelope suitable for a 5" by 7" card, so, and folds nice and flat, but obviously when you display it you would put it up like that. Okay, so I thought that's very pretty, really like it. Hope that my friend and her friend does as well, but I wondered what it might look like in some more muted colours, and then along came the Inspire Create challenges, and it's a colour challenge just now, and these are the colours of the challenge. So we've got Evening Evergreen and Soft Succulent, Sahara Sand, Cherry Cobbler and Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to try and make a similar card with these colours. The flowers a little bit more tricky because I don't want them all to be Cherry Cobbler, so I've done some stamping and die cutting already. So I've got lots of elements here that will hopefully work with my card, and we'll just really have to see how they go together. And I've got lots of, I've stamped that in both the Evening Evergreen and the Soft Succulent, so we can mix and match with those as well. So loads of bits and pieces, and I did a bit of the trellis in Sahara Sand as well. So I've already gone ahead, prepped that. I've also prepped the card base and the designer series paper. So whilst on my original version I have used polished pink for my card and also designer series paper and some of the flowers, etc., I'm kind of mixing it up a bit this time. I've got Soft Succulent for the background, and I've got Evening Evergreen designer series paper. So this piece of card measures 5" by 9". And just need to put in a few score lines on that. So with my 9" side at the top, butted right up there, and this 5" one butted along there, I want to score that at 2 inches, 3 inches, 6 inches and 7 inches, and that's it. All we needed that for. And when we burnish these, you kind of need to do them in a bit of a zigzag, so like that. Okay. And the same at the other end, so folding that one back so that we get that shape there. Okay, I will just add my pieces of designer series paper. So I have trimmed these down to 4 7/8 and 1 7/8. That one's 7/8 wide, that one's 2 7/8, another 7/8 and a 1 7/8 wide. So all of the measurements will be in my blog post, and there will be a link to that blog post in the description bar below, so that you can get all of the measurements, the details, and a list of all of the products that I have used, should you wish to purchase them from my Stampin' Up shop. So there's just the narrowest of margins around about these panels, so you just get a little bit of a glimpse of that soft succulent. So bear with me whilst I glue all of these pieces onto my card base. Okay, now what I forgot to say was that these pieces of designer series paper come from the In Colours pack, the 2021 to 2023 In Colours pack, and you actually need, they're 6x6 paper, so you need 2 pieces of the same pattern to cover your base. Now I need to decide whether I want to use the light, or I think I'll go with the soft succulent on there. And I'm also going to add a little bit of this trellis. Now the die cuts one piece like that, and then I just cut an extra piece with a scrap that I had left over, so these need to be glued on there too. So I'm just going to add little spots of my glue . So I've got a tiny bit left over on that, and I'm just going to trim that off there. Now you may have noticed that I've got my glue splodged a little bit. Not to worry, I wiped off some of the excess, and a lot of it will be covered up anyway, but it does dry clear, although it will dry a little bit tacky still. So the most you can get off, the better. So I know that I want to add that onto my card base like so. Okay, and that's where we get that fold from. So just adding glue to this piece first and lining that right up to that edge there. Real fun with glue today. And similarly, I just want to put some glue no more than 2 inches on that side, fold that over, and that should line up pretty close to that edge there. I've got a little bit excess, so I'm just going to trim that off as well. A little bit more difficult to do. Double layer, but there we go. Okay, so we've now got the base for sticking on all of those elements, and this is where your own creativity comes into play. You can decide exactly what you want to put where. Now with these, this bit fits nicely into those bits there. If I want to just put it onto my watering can I just chopped off part of it and put that on like that. Saved that bit, and I used it on the inside of my card as well. And same with the plant pot. I could just put that on there, or I could also put those onto the same stems, and again just chop off that excess bit there. Save that for somewhere else. I would just tidy up those bits and maybe put them elsewhere. So I now just need to decide exactly what I want to put where. So I think for definite I want my welly boots to have these tulips on. I possibly want to have some blue chrysanthemums, maybe, I don't know what they are, on that side. And I do have two plant pots, and in my original one I had one on its side and one with flowers in, so we might stick with that. The other one's trimmed down. Oh, there. So I then possibly want to have those there, but I can have some more of these ones in the middle at the bottom there. And I've already gone ahead and stamped from the same stamp set, Our Friendship is Naturally Beautiful, and that is just going to sit at the back there, and I think that might do. So I shared a tip previously where you've got that little line there, so you can either trim that so that it's not quite so obvious, or you can use the same colour Stampin' Right marker and just add a little bit more colour along the bottom there, and it kind of just disguises it a little bit, so that doesn't stand out as having a big gap between the die cuts as much as, well, that one I actually purposefully die cut as far down as I possibly could, so that's probably the better way to do it, but you can do it that way or that way. And I've used the wrong colour, I used Soft Succulent, and that was Evening Evergreen, that's why it doesn't look quite so good. Let me just add in some little bits. With that. So I'm just using the Stampin' Right marker just to add tiny little bits of colour on there. Okay, or as I say, you can, if you wish, just trim off any little white bit there so that it doesn't stick out so much. Okay, so I'm going to layer these together, try and remember which flowers I had where, and then I'll come back and show you just finalising it, putting it all together. So because I've only got a little bit where those overlap, I'm using a silicone mat here so that any extra glue isn't going to ruin anything else, it's just going to stick there. And with those, just adding some glue, oops, no, not that one doesn't get on, along there, and pressing that down, and now that bit is ready to get glue all over the central bit, not all over the spout or the handle, because there will be a little bit overhanging at this side here, just show you that first. Okay. There we go. So, could have put it all on the spout on this one actually, but the handle is overlapping just that tiny little bit there. Okay, so I'm going to glue all of the other elements on and come back to you in just a moment. Okay, so I've got most of the elements on there. I've got a few of the little seed packets that I have die cut as well, so I can pop that one of them there, and let's go with another one on beside the boots in that corner. And there's a little trowel. Is that a trowel? No, that's not a trowel. A fork, that's what it's called, in the die cuts as well. So I've done one in Evening Evergreen and one with Sahara Sand. Now, I remember from my childhood my parents having ones that had a wooden handle and green metal at the top. So that's as close as I can get to it with the colours from this particular challenge. So again, I'm going to layer that on, and because this is quite fragile at the top, I'm going to make sure that all of it is glued down on this one. On my original card, trying not to get too much glue on there. On my original card, I used some silver foil, which is obviously a little bit more sturdy, so I was quite happy to leave that going over the top. But with this one, I think I will glue it down completely along there. And I think that that has worked out quite well. And I think maybe enough is enough. So the muted tones using the colours from the Colour Challenge and this super bright birthday version. Which one do you prefer? I think, to be honest, I do prefer that one, but this one does look pretty cool with all of those colours as well, and you kind of peek to have a look at that sentiment in there. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, then please do give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please do click on that subscribe button and on the bell so you get notified of your next video that I upload. As I said earlier, list of all of the dimensions and the products that I've used will be in my blog. There's a link to that down below too. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next time, bye.